So, what I'm going to speak about next is more about morality, soul evolution, and God nature, right? So, when I talked about when I talked about politics or our American condition, like the condition in Western values or Western culture now. Right now, you have a radical right that is for rights and gun carrying and being able to speak with your mind. So they'll rebel and say, "I hate you" or "fuck you" and shit like that, right? And then you have and they'll say racist stuff too, but then you'll have a radical left that fake says it, like, "Oh, you can't say this, and we'll not allow you to say those cruel words," but then they do worser actions, they do crueler actions, and under the disguise of being non-radical or non being good, like being for values, we're allowing freedom of marriage, or we allow same-sex marriage and things like that. We'll allow these freedoms because we don't want to discriminate against them, but then they'll use the criminal justice system and things like that to take away your rights, to discriminate against you. What I mean by that is this nature, this evilness, the intention itself. This is why Allah says things, God says things about intention being key. This evilness is destroying the fabric of good that America once stood for. And when I say once stood for, I don't mean in the aspects of slavery and how they stole the country from Native Americans and things like that. What I mean is the intentions that our founding fathers actually had when they created these amendments in our Constitution. They actually had a goodness. They wanted America to be prosperous. They wanted it to be prosperous. They did. There's a lot of people that's going to try to defend it, saying, "Oh, well, they were Freemasons and they believed in all blah 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 blah." When you try to give people things like you should have freedom of press to stop evil, this is a good intention. Now, did they want to end slavery and things like that? No. They had no intention of doing that. The founding fathers had slaves. They had no intention of ending slavery. At that time, it was a social norm, and I'll get to norms later on. It was a social norm. But the intention was that they wanted to create a republic that was founded under goodness. And if you don't believe that it was, look at Andrew Jackson's statement about bankers owning America. If you look at that, there in the beginning of the 1800s, the beginning of the 19th century, he said that if the bankers owned America, America will be screwed. He says this. You could look it up. Go on Google right now. Look it up. What I mean by his intention being good is, if you don't intend any good coming out of this situation, then why would you care if the bankers were going to be evil? Why would you care? Why would you want it to be evil anyway? You want America to be corrupted anyway. So why would you care if the bankers did it? So this is how you know, this is proof that he had no intention on America being as crooked as it is right now. So intentions itself set the foundation of how the effect is going to be. That cause itself sets the foundation. So first, the intention has to be good, and it has to be pure. But what happens when people's intention is this? People say they intend to do good, but they totally intend to do harm. They can say everything that they want out of their mouth, but in their hearts, they intend evil, period. They intend evil. They want evil to happen. They want it. They are dying for the evil to happen. And what it has done is caused an unbelievable volcano and ripple effect of evil across our nation and across the world, for real, because we have ultimately power over what goes on in other countries. We have tremendous influence. The same way, if you look at our government, the Zionist movement has influence even on our government and things like that. So we have a tremendous influence even across the world. And what happens when you have an evil intention is you have evil effects. You have evil effects. And we can't control consequences. We cannot control the consequences that happen out of our actions. I'm sure you can understand that. We can't control what the consequences will be. These are something we have no control of. We can control our effects, our intention, and our actions, but we can't control what happens after that. And what I mean by this video, as far as having the God nature and soul evolution, things like that, is to show you that God has manifested himself in a very good and loving nature in this world. We have disregarded this. Every teaching, spiritual teaching that was given to us, human beings, we will overlook it. We have disregarded it. We have decided to say, forget it. And I'm going to give you an example right now in Jerusalem. You have the three Abrahamic faiths praying right next to each other. You have the Western Wall, which is like the wall where the Jews pray at, meditate at. They put the cube on their head, they bob like this, and they'll stand in front of the wall. They expect the resurrection to come at that place. And then right above that wall, almost like up the steps, a little bit up the steps, you have the Dome of the Rock. You have the place where Muslims pray at in Jerusalem. And about a block or two up the street from there, the Dome of the Rock, you have the cathedral. You have a Christian prayer place, a church. So you have a mosque, a church, and the Western Wall right there. I forget the name of the wall, but you can look it up. It's very easy. You can even do the Google land thing and look it up. Why is that? Anybody in the comments can answer. Why is that? Why are those places there? Now, let's get into the real thick of things. The reason why all three of those places are there is because God has no intention to separate us. Good doesn't have no religion, yo. Being a good person, being good, being of a pious nature has no religion. There's no separation between a good Muslim and a good Hindu, but the religion. Their actions are literally the same. The same way there's no separation between a bad that and a bad that, a bad Christian and a bad Jew. Their actions are the same. You have to leave the godly things to godly people. You have people who don't even believe in a God. Like you cannot possibly even believe that God exists. I don't care how long you pray in the church or in the synagogue or even in the mosque, masjid or whatever. How long you pray in there? Your nature will never be cleansed from that evil because you have completely given yourself over to doing the evilest things. You create the corruption on this planet. You disguise it in doing good, like, oh, I'm doing good, and you create the corruption. You inflict all types of pain on this planet, and you get other people to assist you. I cannot remember the last time I actually seen good people around other like good people. Most of the time, pious people stay by themselves. Most of the time, pious people only have a few followers, if not they're by themselves. One of the reasons is because evil is so manifest on this planet that it's so easy for people to feed into the evil. Guaranteed, you can prove that. Why? Because why is it so easy to get somebody to move off of fear or off of anger or off of these type of energies instead of off of love? Why is it so easy to get people to come on and do bad things, evil intended things, instead of doing good stuff? Why do our governments want to spend so much money on killing somebody and no money on keeping somebody alive? Why is that? Oh, I know why. Do you? Have you questioned it? Do you care? This is a big deal, yo. This is a big deal. We are caught up into this feeding frenzy of evil. We are. I don't want really my tax dollars or my money going into feeding evil stuff. I don't, yo. I don't. You know how hard it is to feed people? Do you know how many times I fed people? Do you know how much I offer people food and drink? You know how hard that is? You know how hard it is to just keep people nourished or sheltered or clothed and things like that? Do you know that takes money out of, my pocket I'd be given to anything else? But yet, we would rather feed money into missiles or something else. Do you understand that? And people will say, well, this is for national defense. Ugh. Really? You know what could be a great national defense? Deterrence. How about deterrence? How about getting people to not wanting to fuck us up? You know how easy that is? You know how easy it is to have a godly nature to not get a person to want to do harm to you? Because you know what happens? You do realize that once you keep using that hard power or that I will bomb you if you don't do what I say or do as I want you to do. Do you know eventually them people aren't going to be afraid to die? I mean, you're looking at one of them right now. I know easily that I'm going to die on this earth. So wouldn't I rather die doing good? So what happens is you're going to get people that are just not afraid to die. And then you get a chance to see who's really about some work. You get a chance to see who's really about to do something, who's really about that life for real. When you get people that aren't afraid to die, or even worse, suicidal, they're not afraid to die, kill, or genocide or stuff like that. What happens is you have a earth full of psychopathic people. And then, well, this is for the people that aren't afraid to kill and commit suicide and things like that. The people that are strong enough to stand up for what's right and they aren't afraid to die are people who are like Dr. Martin Luther King or like me, that have made the decision that they're going to spend the rest of their life doing something that is worth or has some substance, that's good.